What's going on, guys? Kenny and I are making our way back out to Kentucky. Gonna do some turkey hunting this weekend. Try to get a big gobbler on the ground, maybe a couple of them. But
proceed 2 miles on the
this is a video that we actually shot almost a month ago or so. Kenny actually had Grant Woods and Clay from Growing Deer TV come out to his property and do a land assessment and give us a management plan and stuff like that for his property. So I videoed that whole thing. I'm going to put it together and get that out there to y'all. It's a lot of good information, even if you don't currently own your own land. If you're just interested in deer management or wildlife management in general, this video is going to be a good one for y'all. Grant is a wealth of knowledge for sure. If you're interested in something like that, having those guys come out to your property, shoot those guys a message and they'll get right back with you. It's definitely worth it. I think they definitely gave Kenny and I a bunch of pointers that I think are going to turn Kenny's property into just a whitetail paradise. So enough said. Going to jump on into the video. Hopefully you get something out of it, and appreciate you watching.
Play Odell. Kenny. Kenny. What's your name? Caleb. This is my son-in-law. Hello, Caleb. Thanks for serving. Thank you. You find sheds this morning?
Yep. Found a couple. Yeah. The one's actually, I think, a shed to the deer I killed this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty sure that's like 2 years ago. The deer I killed this year.
Wow, cool. Very cool. So,
yeah, I found them all three in about 50 yards.
I'll be darned. So I remember conversation, but let's just all get on the same page and tell us your goals and objectives. Realistic goals. Everybody wants to put a crockett behind every tree.
I want the biggest deer possible. So. But my goal is, I come out here in wintertime, and there's no food. And I know you see it all the time. I don't have to rehash this because you see it on every farm you go. Anytime you got cropland, you take the crops off, they ain't got nothing no more.
Yep.
So my main objective is how I go about putting active food plots in and what I need.
You're cash renting the farmland?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you doing on thirds or cash rent?
Cash. You get all that. Rent.
But he did say we could plant once he pulls the crops out
Yeah.
in the fall.
Yep.
Corn soybean rotation, I assume?
Yep. The soybeans next year. It's corn this year.
Do you find your hunting is better when it's a soybean year?
But the big deer you've killed, except for Eric's deer, has all been soybean years. The big tall 8-point was soybean. That 10-point you killed was soybean year.
That one big deer I killed, I think it was still cow pasture.
And then this year was corn.
Yeah.
And the deer, I know at least during the rut when we were here, the does weren't out in the field like they were the year prior. I shot my deer. We actually pulled up there where the wind was wrong. We always, for some reason, have a south-southwest wind out here, which is horrible for his part of the farm. They were actually chasing 2 does, and I ran them down. I ran them deer across that field, ended up shooting them up in the corner of the field. But that was the best deer we saw this year. So.
Well, let's get our maps and let's take off.
Yeah, see any turkeys out here?
He said he saw a couple turkeys out here. I've never turkey hunted out here. You really?
back, grabbed our stuff out of the hotel, and come up this way. And we went to some fast food.
Wendy's.
It was too busy, so we pulled in Burger King. Now I'd rather had a steak, but you know Burger King's what was right there handy. And the Cedars are the best cover right now, so deer are using it, but it can be infinitely better and a food source too, because there's very little. Obviously, you look down the ground, nothing's growing. There's no sun, nothing's growing. And those Cedars, I'm gonna say these are probably 30 years old, give or take. We can learn that, but you know, on Google Earth you can go back in time, and you'll be able to see this pasture. Usually goes back about 50 years. So I promise you do that slider back, you'll tell when this was clear. This was, just seeing this was a clear pasture at some time. And the Cedars grew up from, because I see a little bit difference in age, but not a lot. That was just a seed source. And someone quit mowing the pasture and they took over. Is exactly what happened here. But we cut this and wait 2 years, 2 growing seasons, then get a good fire in here. This would be beautiful wildflowers and grasses. I mean, beautiful, stunning. Both aesthetically and from a deer point of view, because there'd be all kind of food. You know, there's zero turkey habitat in there now. And you have turkey nesting and brooding habitat. It'd be awesome. If we did nothing else to the property but cut all these cedars, y'all'd be happy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we talked about, the same thing. I just want to
But we
make
need
sure.
to address these woods over here too. I mean, this needs hacking, squirting, and yeah, we're gonna. I'm already developing a plan, but I want to see everything I got to work with.
That's the business back here.
You might sure enough take Clay's advice, just ask around, because if someone will harvest them, even if you break even, that's cheaper than. You're still gonna have to have someone come in because they won't cut all these little ones.
Right.
And they're just going to seed. I mean, when I say cut cedars, we're talking about cutting every cedar.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone may want these big ones here.
Yeah.
And that way you're not walking with those logs for next 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if that thing's solid, if it's not hollow, that's trophy cedar right there. That may be Boone and Crockett.
You see it down through there. See it?
Yeah, they are.
Finding big ticks or little ticks?
Brother. We came back out here in July last year, I think it was, and I bet you I pulled over 100 ticks off of me.
Yeah.
I went and got Promethean that night, and I didn't pull one tick off of me the next day.
That's good. Always rock.
You sure?
Go home.
I feel right at home. Sticks and limestone.
They said we make so much bourbon in Kentucky goes limestone water.
And I promise you, we cut all these cedars, wait 2 years and burn. This property, I would say this property is going to make the biggest change of any property we've seen this week. I want to, if you got time, just mosey down that way and take a little look. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, we can do that. We can ride the thing down to the bottom of the hill and walk up the oak line.
Whatever's good for you.
It don't matter. You know, we can walk down that way and go that way. Be
But
fine.
I just soon walk down so I can see a little bit more of the
Yeah,
property, if that's
cool.
okay.
There's a shelf right down, and kind of see it right there.
Yeah.
Those deer were running that shelf quite a bit this year too.
Okay. Because you're getting sun down to the forest floor. When we do this, when we modify this, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right now, it's totally unproductive. But if you will fail, wait 2 years and burn, it will be incredible. And it will be the best habitat around. So you, as you might hear me say in the past sometimes, think of your property as the center of a Rubik's Cube, and you're going to have the best habitat. So you're going to have the lion's share of deer, not necessarily spending every minute or day on here, but most of the time, certainly daylight, you're going to have the best cover by far. And the best pre and post crop food by far. So put that with a few food plots, your hunting's going to be tremendous.
So what's the best way to maintain that once it's done?
You have to burn after contractor, just whoever you use, burns the first time. You're going to want to wait about 2 years again. After you do this heavy burn, all this fuel, it'll take a while for fuel to build up again. And then you burn, and then you're going to want, as time goes on, you're going to rotate between dormant, basically March time frame, dormant before spring green up burns, and what we call growing burn, which are easier but tougher to do in that it rarely gets dry enough in August to burn. The humidity is just usually too high for it to carry, but when you get an opportunity for it to carry in August, you want to burn August, September. You want to burn because if you just burn one time a year, especially that dormant or February, March burn, you become predominantly grasses, and we want a really good mix of grasses and forbs. And that growing season burn highly favors wild legumes, highly favors that. So and you can't do it every year, right? I mean, you just don't have enough fuel. And as I tell people all the time, we like to burn when God would burn, i.e. we burn when it's dry. If it gets really dry in July, and everyone sees the big fires out in Colorado, I'm burning my neighbor's place down. California averages about 8% humidity in those summer days. See big fires out there. We beg for it to be 35, 40. If it can get down to 35 or 40, everyone's going, oh boy, the air feels good today here in the south. So it's just not going to run away from you like it does out there. It's just a totally different environment. So, and your vegetation, once you get this down and rocking, it'll stay green. Even that native vegetation is very tough. It'll stay. We spend more time trying to get it to burn that time of year than we do trying to put it out by far. And we walk our fannies off trying to get it to go. So you're pretty good here. You got pastures all around you and stuff. It's just not going anywhere, but it'll be awesome. And
do you have any good literature and stuff we can read on fires and when to burn? And
we have a lot of episodes on that. And then South Carolina State Forestry Association has a really good website and a lot of good information. Probably one of the better ones in America. Because burning's a huge part of South Carolina forestry. So they have classes and stuff too. They have some really good information.
So if we were to burn all this, how do you hunt it? Once it's all the same, how do you? Man, you bow hunt the edges and the bottlenecks, and for rifle hunting, you put your big blind wherever this ridge is skinniest, so you can see down both sides, and you'll love it because you'll be busy all day. Just
glass.
Deer will just pop up and go down, pop up and go down. It's like hunting out west. Pop up and go down, pop up and go down.
Now, is it smart to come down through the middle of this thing, as far as traveling, or to go through the edge?
No, I would come right down through. We have roads right through the middle of ours where we kill a bunch of deer.
Okay.
Yeah, and you want your road right on the very top so water will go both ways. You're going to be fighting erosion. You put a road on the edge, you're going to be fighting it. And if y'all can remember, this road here desperately needs, when next time you get a dozer in here or whatever, called BBD, broad-based dip. Google broad-based dip. If you forget that, call Clay or I, but broad-based dip. And it will, because you're going to have erosion on that road, I promise you. And that'll take care of that. Broad-based dip.
Broad-based dip.
And I think, for me, Pennsylvania State probably has the best explanation and pictures and graphics of how to build a broad-based dip. It's just the way you shape the land. You don't have to buy anything except dozer time. But it's nothing you bring in. It's just the way it's shaped. Very, very effective. I have dozens on my place of BBD. We call them BBDs.
BBDs.
Glyphosate.
Okay.
And I would spend some time going around the edge here and killing every one of these. And you have to spray most of the foliage, not all. I mean, it's just fescue, so if, and glyphosate's ground neutral. It's not going to kill seeds in the ground. So. But I would kill every single multiflora rose on this property. It's gonna make seed, and the seeds are gonna germinate. And you don't want it taking over all your wood lots because it's miserable to walk through.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this left hand side down here is full of them.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I mean, it looks beautiful playing almost like a little staging area, but it sure would be nice to cut them off right here. You know what I'm saying? I would keep that mowed down. I wouldn't plant it just yet for sure. We can go around the property and then go into the stand. When I say road, it could be a two-wheeler trail, whatever. It just needs, you need access all the way around your property. All the way around. You know, unless you're crossing a major creek or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're giving up a lot not hunting in here. This looks good. I know this ridge is good right here. And get off me.
And that big thicket, that big cutover is.
Yeah, you got cover on two sides of you here. But no food, not much food.
No food.
So they're cutting through here to have food, and if you will work with your farmer here some, it'd be awesome. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Not counting Indiana, we haven't seen anything like this. We've seen sinkholes, but not like this. This is extraordinary. Big cave, kind of like Mammoth Cave, Marble Cave's great big, not totally explored yet. It's a theme park, I mean, it's that kind of big. But this is unique here. I mean, I've been walking properties 31 years. This is unique here.
I've never dreamed. I've never been up this much at all.
Yeah, that rise up right there. Well, some tendon go from that to the scrotum, hold the scrotum up. And then another way, the other half is all chewed up, but this actually sets in a deer like this, and this is, of course, the socket going down. This is, if the other side was on here, you'd see that this is kind of narrow in here. Females have a much wider hole right here, or gap, for the birth canal to go through, for fawns to go through. Males, they just got to get pooped through there. So that was a buck, unequivocally. I'll be the one that steps on the empty hole, and y'all be digging me out down in there somewhere. Whoa, don't count on that saving me.
Wet down there.
Oh, you got the flashlight. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I can see, can you see way back in there? You gotta go through this crack right here.
Mm-hmm. Way back in there.
Way back in there. And it goes up a long ways right there. And if you listen, just, everybody be quiet right here. Oh, I see light. See the light? Mm-hmm. That's not my, see, there's daylight over there.
No hole over there connects it.
It is super cool. Just remember me. And food on soybeans, it is so important, that maturity. If your beans aren't maturing, if they're not starting to turn till late September, mid-September, you're gonna be pressed to have enough time for them to grow much for the first frost, the vegetation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that little fescue area we just rode through, cutting back there to the, you know, there's a hole in the horn buck. I think you got the hole in the ground buck. But where you went to that one, I'd be tempted to just spray that fescue there, not tilled up because it will erode for sure, but and make me a food plot right there on that point. Anywhere you can get food in here. But when you cut the cedars, that's a game changer, because you'll be able to find some areas that are a little flatter, not as many rocks, whatever, right on the edge of your hardwoods, and just you can just broadcast a winter food plot, and those bucks are going to travel that hard edge. and they're going to stop right there. It's just a given. So, but you need more winter food that's huntable, because you're a desert in the winter. He's already cut the corn, cut the beans, whatever. Combines are very efficient anymore. There's not much spilled grain. You need to get some food, whether you're, get the farmer a country ham, get him to leave an acre. I think if you only leave an acre, they're gonna wipe it out. So you're gonna be better to broadcast seed. You can broadcast in corn rows, but you don't get the great distribution like you do over the top of beans. You can walk down corn rows. If you've ever walked down corn rows, it kind of cuts on you a little bit. Those corn leaves are pretty gnarly, but you can do it. But it's critical y'all have food here during deer season, besides acorns.
The acorn is about gone till November if I was around.
Depends on the year and the crop and whatnot, but
We had a bumper crop out here this year.
yeah, food and cutting cedars are the two things that will rapidly make big changes on this farm. Rapidly. Clay, you got anything you want to add?
No, I think that's where you're going to see the quickest results too.
If I get that crew in here, I'll take all the cedars out one time. If they're gonna be here.
Oh, they're come. I mean, you just got to get a hold of them, and they will come. Then they'll come back and burn it. It will be one hot fire. But they do this all the time.
This is their life.
Outside the summer. Summertime, they're usually off fighting a big fire. Late summer, especially.
Is that something that, if they came in here and cut them this year, would this still be a decent? I mean, it would still be worth hunting this year.
Oh yeah. We cut 200 acres last year at our place.
Okay.
Yeah. You just make sure hunting better, because they're gonna bottleneck around it. They will go through it. There'll be certain trails, but you know where they're going. And then when you got a blood trail of deer in there, you appreciate how thick it is.
Sound like it. I appreciate you coming out.
No, I want to follow up your project. I like your project a lot, and I hope you send us updates, send us pictures, email us a picture of that buck in the ground.
Yeah.
That's really cool. If we could get some of that or footage, we'll give you credit. We'll show your name, give you credit for it.
Yeah, we do that. Like I said, I found that shed. I looked over and I said, "What? There's another shed."
No.
I said, "Wait a minute, it's the whole deer."
That is cool.
What? Can't believe it. Then I looked down there and the whole body was hanging.
Do you ever do any fertilization around your oaks?
No, don't do that.
Don't worry with
That's
that.
outdoor rider talk.
Okay.
The thing that will give you the most benefit is killing the trees around that oak and letting it photosynthesize more. Nothing's going to outdo that. That's well researched. In Tennessee, actually, University of Tennessee Martin did all that research.
Okay.
Get the sunlight to the bottom.
Get the sunlight to the oak tree without competing on the sides of it, and then get sunlight to the ground in your cedar areas.
What's the? How do y'all determine how many does y'all need to take out?
Pretty much on a food. It's not an exact number, but you're out clearly short of food in the winter here. I mean, every bramble's browsed on, every maple twig is browsed on that's within reach. I mean, 100% of them. So you clearly got more deer than you got food, but you got so much food in the summer, which is traditional for most of Iowa, Kansas, Illinois. I mean, they grow huge deer and there's nothing right now, but they gorge themselves all summer. On your corn years, they're not gorging because they don't eat corn forage. So your bean years are going to be your best years, by far.
And if I can talk the farmer into rotating two to one.
That'd be a blessing. It's just, you got 2 better years of hunting. I don't think you'll get this, but if you could get him to do half corn, half beans each year, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I don't think he'd do that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
See what maturity group he's planting too.
Yeah, you can ask him, hey, what maturity group are you planting? If he's planting 5s or higher, you're gonna have a tough time getting much of fall crop in, because they just don't harden off in time.
Write that down.
The 1.9 would be ideal.
1.9 maturity group.
That'd be ideal.
And that's when they mature in September.
Early.
Early September.
Yeah, he'll be probably combining in September. I mean, the worst case scenario, you take your 4 or 5 acres back in that back corner where the deer are eating everything up anyway, and y'all take over planting that.
Yeah.
He just, you don't get your cash rent off that.
You know.
He's helping you about planting the bulk, but you need some food in those back corners, especially where you want to hunt. That's where you need the food. And it's going to be acres, not a half acre. It's going to be acres because the deer are going to wipe it out.
Right.
But even if you just have him plant it and then not combine it, it saves you a lot of time because he's buying seed in bulk and spray in bulk and all those things.
Would you leave grain during the soybean years or leave grain during the corn years?
Both. But soybean years, you plant green on top of it too.
Okay.
Can you mow? Can you mow corn in Kentucky?
I don't know. In some states, it's considered baiting if you mow corn.
Or you can bait.
You can bait. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
surely you can.
You can mow it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really like you said. Back here in the cow pasture, you got corn piles everywhere. You know, of course, I had my share out there. I had 4,000 pound cob corn.
And that was the oddest thing. I mean, North Carolina, you throw corn, you see deer. Now you more than likely aren't going to see your biggest deer during the daylight, but even at night here, we weren't getting pictures of what we thought were going to be on the corn.
Acorns somewhere. Deer will go to acorns over corn every time. Every time.
If you go back on the back side of this land, it's got a lot of oaks back in there on the other man of the land back there.
The white oaks won't last that long. A warm rain will cause white oaks to germinate. And as soon as they stick that taproot at the bottom, they're not palatable anymore. It's the red oaks that are going too late season. Unequivocally. Clay, why don't you share your phone number because you guys got a lot of questions and you can get hold of Clay or me, either one. I like you, Buggy.
Thank you.
All right.
I think your main stealth is developing that access on the back side so you can come in there when the deer are in the field.
We can do that. I got 2 chainsaws to do that.
I hear you. All right, boys, we pointing it west.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. Stay in
Thank-
touch, and
Yeah, we'll.
I love to hear updates from your project. So
We will.
Yeah.
let me know what's going on.
Kitty, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Y'all heading all the way
talk to
home
you
tonight?
soon, and
Oh yeah,
unless I
yeah.
got
I
any
can't
questions,
stand
so-
getting like 4 hours away from home and have
I'm
to
sure.
unload
I'll
everything,
be-
get in the hotel.
I'll be
Yeah,
talking
nice to
you.
meet you, man.
And like I
Yeah,
said, this
That's
is my-
understandable.
I just soon get
Son-in-law
my drives my
leaves my
wife
partner.
nuts. You're not being
Absolutely.
safe, like honey.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't sleep that well in a hotel anyway. I might as well get a Dr. Pepper and go on home.
And it's always nice to have someone else out here with you.
But
So
I just needed some professional advice and which way I need to go, and get some numbers. I guess you can send me some numbers or something so I can contact.
Let me give you Jess's number right now.
And that's for the cedars and the
That's the guy
burning.
that cut stuff, yeah. All right, man.
But I'm just gonna try to make it into a paradise to hunt.
You got
you'll get there.
a
that's for
great
sure.
basis to work
Yeah.
with. Thanks for your time today.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing y'all again.
Here, we're gonna do it. Thank y'all very, very much.
Yeah.
The fella is lad because he's young. And I told him, I said, "You gonna carry this on, son?" I said,
It's a heck of a dowry, man.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a dowry.
I told him, I said, I got lucky. I said, I got a hot wife. My father-in-law's got hunting land. My wife lets me hunt and lets me do my YouTube channel. Don't complain. So, been with her 11 years. So,
Yeah, for your gig.
yeah.
Pretty good gig. All right, boys. Y'all be careful.
Y'all have
See you.
fun.
Nice to meet you.
Have a
guys.
safe trip. All right, guys. Well, Grant and Clay just took off. They're heading back home. Feel like they told us what we needed to hear. I think it's a good thing we ended up having them come out here, because I think the plan we were going to go with is a lot different than what they told us. And I think the plan they told us is going to be more cost effective than the plan we were originally thinking about going with. So it's going to be good. From what Grant was saying, he said this place is going to be a phenomenal place to hunt if we just listen to what they had to say and kind of go with what they told us to do. Mainly the biggest takeaway from today was we need to cut all the cedars, get rid of them, let them lay for a growing season, and then the following year burn them, and kind of go from there. Maybe get some food planted in the, during the deer season when the grain's not in the field, and said this place will turn around quick, so we'll see what happens. It was great having them out here. We appreciate those guys coming out and taking the time to go over the farm with us, and we'll see what this thing turns into. It's gonna be a project. We'll bring y'all along with us, and hopefully this will inspire some more of y'all to maybe fork out the money and have somebody professional like that come out, and instead of wasting your time to begin with, just listen to what they have to say and go from there. You'll be growing big deer. So we'll catch y'all in the next video. Remember to live y'all's life to the fullest and use your passions to bless others. Appreciate you watching.